Okay? As a resident of the 4th Ward for 65 plus years, our new 4th Ward Alderwoman will be making decisions about safety, schools, and development in our community. Will you please vote? This will affect your daily life in the 4th Ward. So whatever you do or do not do, the new 4th Ward Alderman will be making decisions for you and about you. Your family life, please vote and make it Ebony Lucas. Thank you.
A pleasant good evening to each one of you for a very special event this evening inside of the walls of room 43 at 1043 East 43rd Street. All of you that braved this wonderful evening in the weather, which could be different and is going to be different soon if the forecasts are right, you should give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Did you do that? I am humbled, elated, and honored to be here with this young lady, Ebony Lucas, our next alderwoman of the 4th Ward. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. So, you want to talk about some good news? That's some of the best news that you could take out of this room 43 tonight and share. You want to tweet something? You want to text something? Text this. Our next alderwoman, Ebony Lucas, 4th Ward. When I stepped into the doors this evening, Deborah greeted me. And I want to say thank you, Deborah, for representing Ebony so wonderful. Thank you for the materials. Thank you so very much for the armband and the, because of whatever this is I have on, I can't put too many sticks on it right now. So I decided to make a bracelet. And the bracelet reads, expect a different result. Ebony Lucas. Vote February the 28th, 2017. I'm wearing it. So I hope you are too. Yeah. So, Camille? Yeah. Lord, what a woman. Thank you so very much for that introduction. I love her. She comes back, too. Thank you so very much for being one of the best volunteers anyone could ask for. What did you just say?
That's what you do when you believe in someone. You stand up and fight for them.
Yeah, that deserves
I feel great. I'm just very grateful to be here. Thankful that I've had all of the support that I've had. Thankful that we have new faces here tonight that wanted to come out and learn more about the candidates that are in this race and get complete information before making their final decision.
I like that. Quite a few people are running in this race for the 4th Ward Alderman.
Yes.
What is it that makes you, Ebony Lucas, the one? Would you share with everyone in this room your heart? Ebony Lucas, everybody.
Okay. So I am the most qualified person that's running in this race. I love the 4th Ward. I love the diversity of our community, and I'm passionate about making changes. I've been practicing real estate law for 12 years, been practicing specifically in this area for 9 years, and want to bring development to the entire ward. The focus in the 4th Ward has been in Hyde Park, and the rest of us have suffered, and we haven't had the amenities and the same attention. So we need development on Cottage Grove and from 31st to 40th to 50th Street. That's important to me. The other thing is bringing resources to our schools. making sure that our schools have the funding that they're supposed to have, making sure that we're partnering with community-based organizations to fill in programs that have been taken out of our schools so that our kids get the best education that they can possibly get. Because for me, that is violence prevention, education. Education allows people to get jobs. What we need to make sure of is that we have a voice in City Council that speaks for the people, not only the people in the 4th Ward, but the people in the city of Chicago as a whole. It is very important that the mayor doesn't get another seat that's going to just rubber stamp whatever he puts before him, and that we have a representative that's going to ask tough questions, that's going to read, that's going to speak up when things aren't right, and really work to make a change for the better, for the people in the community.
That really deserves a round of applause. Can you tell us what in your heart you feel why they follow? They'll follow whatever is said, what's out there, but they don't really pay attention to it. Talk to us about that.
So paying attention requires people to read. It requires people to get invested. It requires people to spend time doing what, many of the people in this room who are volunteers on the campaign have done. It requires work and time. It's easy to just sit back and complain or to go and have a protest after the president is already in office. We need to protest right now. And it's not just the 4th Ward. The entire city of Chicago needs to understand how important this 4th Ward election is to the entire city.
The 4th Ward is important to the entire city. So, something stands out real large with me is what Ebony Lucas said about being a voice in City Council and asking tough questions. I really appreciate that because you would be my alderman. You will be my alderman. And asking tough questions in City Council is very important. Does our audience agree? Yes. And when we think about the violence in our community, we think about what's going on. What can you say to that and having a voice, Ebony Lucas?
Well, I don't think that the City Council has addressed the violence in Chicago at all whatsoever. And, we've defunded programs like Ceasefire that actually worked and had proven results. And we haven't put anything in place that really addresses the issue, which is that there are a lack of support systems for youth. There's a lack of mental health programs in our community. We need to make sure that we're putting resources towards mental health, towards kids with learning disabilities, and towards kids who are just different learners. Those kids who may excel in art or music or tennis. When we take out all of the sports and we only have basketball in the schools and we don't offer anything else, then we take away opportunity for our kids. We don't give them access to it. We don't give them exposure. And when they don't have that exposure, if all of us in this room said what we do for a living, we probably all do different things. It's because we've had the opportunity to have exposure to things that we're good at and that we enjoy. When our kids don't have that, they lose hope. They drop out of school. And you see the murder rate that we saw and the shootings that we saw in 2016. And you see the kids who are committing these crimes are ages 18 to 22. That's a failure to me of our educational system. It's a failure to me of our city to put resources in the right places.
So you're saying that's why it deserves a round of applause. So, automatic candidate Ebony Lucas for the 4th Ward, you're saying that your voice would be heard in City Council?
Absolutely. I think that, it only takes one person to stand up and bring a change, to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, before we pass this budget, where are the programs that are going to address these issues? Before we decide that we're going to put resources towards whatever we're putting resources towards, we're taking money out of the schools and putting them into TIFs. Before we decide to do that and decide that development is a priority over our kids' education, What are we doing to make sure that the schools are funded in the way that they should be funded? That the teachers are supported and that the teachers are valued. Because we don't value education, we don't put our money towards it. And people put their money towards what they value. Right now, in the city of Chicago, we put our money towards big developers, we put our money towards downtown high-rises. We don't put our money towards the schools. We force our teachers, you know, last week I stood actually with some teachers at Kenwood High School who were having a speak out because they're being forced to take furlough days the days that they're forced to take, basically they're not going to, well, they are not going to be paid for those days, but they're necessary days that they have to work because they have grades due. So you're going to require them to work without pay. That is not valuing them. And these are the people, none of us could be where we are now if it weren't for our teachers. These are the people that help us. These are the people that are with our children all day long. And we're forcing them to work for free.
And that shouldn't be.
Absolutely.
That should not be.
Absolutely.
So all of us that are in this room hear her voice and we hear her heart. And when I hear her speak about education and about art and about music and about sports other than basketball, that there is tennis and there are other professions that we need to support, I hear automatic candidate Ebony Lucas speaking from her voice and her heart. She'd make the difference. What I want to do before I continue on, Deborah's welcoming others that are coming in, and we're going to ask that they will come close. Please come close. Don't sit in the back. There is food available. Food is good, isn't it? And there's a whole lot of it. So just save me some salad. But go ahead and eat.